Hello and welcome to our discussion about paying student athletes at Michigan State University. I'm your host, Sal
And I'm J-Mo Williams. So the discussion today will be about if we should be paying student athletes for what they contribute. Sal, what do you think right off the bat?
I think it's a tough debate. You can go both ways with it. They do a lot for the school, but then they already get a lot of benefits and stuff. So I think it's a heavily debated debate.
Yeah, we'll keep
and
with
I think
that.
we're going to go into that later on.
Definitely.
So we have with us today Maddie Massa, who's a senior on the golf team. Maddie, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Pretty good.
Glad to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. Yeah. Well, like you said, I'm a senior. I've been playing golf since before I can remember, mostly because my parents played. My mom played in college also, as did my grandpa. So I have a couple student athletes in my family. Other than that, I really enjoy the competition of the sport and the team atmosphere. So I'm excited to give you guys an insight into at least the golf team here at Michigan State.
Very cool.
So we did some research on some different articles about both sides of whether or not they should be paid or they shouldn't be paid. One that I liked was John Infante wrote one, and he said he did an article about what it would look like if you did pay student athletes. But first of all, generally, do you think they should be paid?
Personally, I don't think they should be paid. I think could be kind of a slippery slope, get out of control, and I believe the scholarships we get and the compensation we receive, is plenty. I think we should value our education enough.
Can you describe the scholarship and exactly the benefits and the compensation that you do get?
Sure, yeah. So the scholarships are split up differently for each team. At least for the women's golf team, we get 6 full scholarships, and my coach can hand them out however she chooses. I can't speak exactly to every other sport because there's different guidelines for each one. Excuse me. But basically, if you get a full ride as a women's golfer, you get room and board paid for. So like if you live in the dorms, obviously you get a meal pass, your room and board. You usually get books covered, so any books up to $800 a semester are covered. And then if you are still in financial need, you can apply for a financial need scholarship, and they'll give you extra money for things like clothes or shoes or anything else. And then if you live in an apartment, they'll just stipend you a living fee that is equivalent to what the dorms cost.
So you said if you don't have enough money, or whatever, if your family's not as wealthy as other families, you get extra money in addition to the tuition and the room and board?
Yes, you have to. I think you have to apply for it, and I don't know what the stipulations are exactly, but I have known student athletes who are on it, and it's helped them out.
Do you think it's a little bit unfair that student athletes get this opportunity, but the regular students who may be coming from not so well-off families don't have that? Oh, hey, I can go sign up for this and get extra money from the school.
That's a good question, and I guess it could be considered unfair because I know there's plenty of just regular students out there who are working 2, maybe even 3 jobs to make rent and buy food, make ends meet. So yeah, I guess it could be considered unfair, but at the same time, I know with the time constraints that student athletes are on, it would be hard for us to get another job and still put enough effort into our school and our sport as is expected of us. So I don't know, I guess you can kind of look at it both ways.
Can you describe the time commitment, I guess?
Yeah.
I was reading an article, and it said that if you break down the amount of hours that a student athlete works, you could say, it's equivalent to like $56.25-ish about an hour, compared to, you see regular students, $8 an hour in the CAF. So how is the time commitment, and what's that work look like, especially at a Big Ten university?
Yeah, it's a big time commitment. I know other sports are just as demanding, but I know golf, we have 20-hour weeks for September, October, our first semester, and then we go to 8 hours for November and December. So we're mandated to stay within those guidelines. You obviously can practice as much as you want on your own, and it might be expected of you to put an extra effort. And then we go back to 20 hours in the spring semester, so we're at least practicing, working out, competing, minimum of 20 hours a week.
Is it something that you log? Like, coach,
Yeah.
I promised I did 20 hours.
Actually,
or,
our coaches are, NCAA guidelines make them log the hours. Golf is a little different because even though our competitions could take up to 15 hours a day, if we're playing 36 holes a day, it only counts as, so many hours. So we don't go over that time. So we probably actually put in a couple more hours than it says on our timesheet. And then someone on our team has to sign them, like one of me or my teammates has to sign my coach's log sheets to make sure we're staying within the guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the article that JMO was talking about is by Jay Paterno, who's Joe Paterno's son at Michigan, at Penn State, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And he broke it down saying, that student athletes that it'd be a great job for a regular person, an adult to have, because student athletes work for 20 hours a week during the season, 8 hours a week during off season. They get a free education out of it at a Big Ten university, which is a very good university.
It is. Yeah.
And if you broke it down to within the $20,000 tuition and everything, they'd make about about $56 an hour for in-state and $84 an hour for out-of-state, which is obviously 10 times more than anybody else on campus is making.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it is like, the time commitment is very large, but I mean,
the benefits outweigh the costs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you guys allowed to have jobs outside of your sport?
You're allowed to have a job. You have to sign up, or you have to submit your job to compliance to make sure it's a legitimate job. People aren't paying you under the table or anything. But I don't know if my coach would exactly be excited about it, And I don't know when I would. I guess it would have to be on the weekends sometime in between homework or something. But yeah, so I guess it'd be difficult, but yeah,
but it really
we're allowed to.
Would you say most of your teammates don't probably have a job?
Yeah, no.
No, just committed on. Okay.
Yeah.